All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha, Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth. Push it as truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And I wanted to bring you brothers' attention to this article right here. Jay-Z says America is psychologically primed to elect, which the word elect means to choose, first Luciferian president. Now, I went to go title this video, "This World is Under a Heavy Demonic Vibration." And you can almost feel it every time you leave the home to go to work, buy something to eat, get clothes, merchandise, furniture, whatever. You can feel that there is a heavy demonic vibration in the air. Okay, more than likely when you look at somebody, okay, you can tell that they don't committed some sin or some kind of wickedness. No matter who you look at down the street. Now, of course, we hopeful members of the elect of Great Millstone, we don't go around sinning willy-nilly. Now, the people of the world will go around sinning willy-nilly because they're ignorant of Yahweh and his ways. So the mindset that these people are in, their mind is geared toward doing something wrong or something very, very, very wrong that could put their life in jeopardy of being judged by the Lord. And a matter of fact, let's get that in Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter. Okay, Ecclesiastes. Yeah, let's read that. Ecclesiastes 8 verse 6. It says, "Because to every purpose there is a time and judgment." You see, there is a time and a judgment to every purpose. Therefore, the misery of man is great upon him. Right? And then okay, Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 11. It says, "Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil." So again, you just leave the house, somebody else just leave the house. The person that you're looking at could have just finished watching child porn. He could have just finished watching gay porn. He could have just finished committing sodomy with another guy. Okay? He probably went over to dude's house, probably got sodomized, and then left and got on the bus. Now he's sitting on the same bus as you after done committing a wicked abomination. And you got to look at this nigga. You know, he getting on the bus, you know, walking all weird, sitting down, looking on his phone. So, you see, or you might look at a guy, you know, he might be a bodybuilder, but he might also be an adulterer, okay? Going around popping other men's women, okay? Or you might have just looked at a woman that walked out of the grocery store. You know, she probably took a couple puffs of her vapor before she left the store, you know? So you see, everywhere you go, there is a demonic vibration. That's why if the President of the United States of America was to light up a Black and Mild or a cigar, even weed on stage, the people wouldn't have a problem with it because the world is under a heavy demonic vibration. Okay? Pork is being sold everywhere you go. Shrimp, lobsters, crab. And these are all foods that are unlawful to eat according to the book of Leviticus, the 11th chapter. You know, they're putting cat and dog meat in your food, calling it chicken. And you're not supposed to eat animals with paws. The Holy Scriptures tell you that, okay? You know what I mean? Check out my video where I did the response to a video on a family who ended up with thousands of worms inside their body after eating bear meat. And not only was it bear meat they was eating, I believe the bear meat was not even cooked all the way. Okay? And they still ate that shit and ended up with thousands of worms inside their body. Okay? Let's read verse 12 of Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. Because those who fear the Heavenly Father is not going to go around sinning willy-nilly, okay? They're not going to go around committing adultery or Moism. They're not going to have thoughts of becoming a transformer, you know, putting their woman on a pedestal, because that's a sin. You're not, the woman is the weaker vessel, okay? Okay, and the women of this society, okay, are the weaker vessel. But you got men putting their women on the pedestal. The worshiping of idols, which all these works of iniquity, all these works of wickedness, it really goes back to those Egyptian gods. Okay. It really goes back to idols. I won't say just the Egyptian gods, Salakia, but all these works of iniquity, all these works of wickedness, it really goes back to idols. Okay, but okay, this world is under a heavy demonic vibration. What happened to my Opera app I had open here? Okay, So right here it says Gay Z says America is psychologically primed to elect first Luciferian president. And I'm not surprised. Okay. And also, we know when we see the word Lucifer, we know that's talking about the left-handed Illuminati. Okay, that's what it's talking about. The left-handed Illuminati. Music mogul and alleged Illuminati puppet master Sean Jay-Z Carter has signaled the United States is psychologically primed for its first openly Luciferian head of state, according to reports. Okay. So there you go. And we all know Jay-Z sold out. With that, I'm going to say Shalom. It's on to the next one.